If you're tuning in now or after the live, I just want to say I thoroughly and greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Tanya, my birthday sister, welcome in. Jason, good evening. Sunny day today. It was, but now it's dark already. And we're going to our last warm day right now of the summer, well, fall right now, going into the winter season here. Matt, welcome in as well. It was about 75 today, the warmest it's been in quite some time, but now it goes to 60 and then the low 50s and then back to the 40s and lower starting next week on Monday. XRP Stu, welcome in. So I just want to timestamp this very quickly. Just please make sure to hit that like button as we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk a lot about XRP so we can have a better understanding of what's going to happen going into the weekend. Nick, good evening. Michael, welcome in. Win Ross X, good evening. Roger Farley, welcome in. Hola. The Gatman, good evening. Shift TA, good day to you as well, my friend. Thank you very much. ATK 777s, welcome in. A lot of longtime viewers in the house right now. I greatly appreciate that so much. So good evening. 7:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, October 27th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Even though my hat says Florida, I promise I am in Michigan. Zachary, good evening. Let's fucking go indeed. Ellis, John Hall, good evening, brother. Mario, Arton, MC Prosperity, welcome in. Louville, good evening. A lot of people in the house tonight. I appreciate that. So I'm going to show you a small section in just a second of something Gregory Mannarino said today. If you don't know who he is, he's on YouTube. A couple 100,000 subscribers. Maybe far more than that now. I've been following for quite some time. But he said something very interesting. Well, not interesting, but very on point. That I always talk about, but maybe him saying it will allow it to better be voiced. So XRP right now, this is... I can't even explain to you how important this breakdown was. I'm so excited to do this live today because I see a lot of bearishness in the market. At least from the ones who are presenting the market's case. I see a lot of bearishness in the tone, and I also see a lot of bearishness in the comments. Not on the live, but within my videos. Zachary, welcome in. Yes, indeed. Michigan. Trading with J-Ride. Gregory did his thing today, indeed. It was his last update in particular I'm talking about. His morning was fantastic, how he talked about what was going on in Israel, and then the whole breakdown of the financial system when he talked about the pre-market report. His mid-afternoon one was great, but this last one he put out before the weekend was spot on. I mean, they all are, but it was beautiful. I'm glad you watched it, Trading with J-Ride. He's a hell of a guy. Johan, welcome in. Biseki Barbershop. Put me in the game, coach. We're getting there. We're getting there. Miss Vicky, good evening, love. I'm so glad you're in the house with Tanya as well. So what I was saying is XRP... The reason why this is so important for these liquidity grabs, if anybody watches my updates in the morning, I don't really want to go to, I'll show you after, but I put on this morning, I just talked about how XRP looked like a long leg doji was formed. Now it pulled down into what looks like a dragonfly. So this is actually an even better scenario than earlier, because had it have stayed a long leg doji, you would have waited for tomorrow, or today's daily candle after the flip at 8, for this move to happen. The fact it happened now, this could be the liquidity grab we were looking for. I would love for XRP to move up just a little bit more. It's coming up. If we can pull up past approximately that 548 level, somewhere in there, we might be able to squeeze this green and have a bullish dragonfly. The fact that this dragonfly is at least, I know it didn't bring us to a new high, but the fact it pulled us back over this last daily candle and it's squeezing up, I'm willing to say this is a dragonfly doji. Yes, it's a little red right now, but the fact it twisted it down here from a long leg, put it into a dragonfly and came down for that support, that's what we're looking for. We have not had a retest on the overall breakout. If you just put it into the flag that we formed, whether you want to say it's a bear or bull flag, I don't care. But this is the first time on the breakout we've retested it. And this is what needs to happen for continuation. If you wanted a continuation, the last thing you want, and I'll continue to preface this, when you have big moves like this, when you have a continuation, the last thing you want is a rebound, and then it would just have to come down. Either way, if it does this and has a quick pullback up, you're more than likely putting in a head and shoulders, and it's just going to come down. It's the ghost pattern around Halloween, see? Ooh, so scary. That's scary, very scary. So what you want is you want liquidity. So one surefire way to get liquidity is after a big rise like that, we pull back. That's it. It's a good way to take out the longs in the futures game. That's a better than from the very top. That's an 8.6% correction. Well, mind you, the push up was only 18.5%, which means that we had about a 40% correction. That's beautiful. Actually, it's almost about 50%. That's a beautiful correction. Anybody who knows anything about trading, you need these corrections. You need liquidity. This will build liquidity. And now we've had the bullish cross and the invalidation as of right now through the death cross. We've invalidated the 200. Now we're trying to come through. A couple more days like this is exactly what we want. It would be great. It would be great if we sat at 55 cents. It would. That's a beautiful mark. But remember, we're going by level. We were never able to clear out from 55 to 57, which told us we likely had a dump back down here coming. Michael says 58. Is there 58 viewers? I haven't even looked. Is there really 58 viewers already? I'll be damned. 69 now. Wow. That number seems to like this station. 69 viewers, 41 likes. Make sure to hit that like button. It'll greatly help us push this content. Can you check out H-Bar for me? Laugh out loud. You don't need to donate. I'll certainly check it out for you. Hey, your donation, the most important donation you make to me, sir, is your time. Yes, I appreciate the donation with Tom's Army or the YouTube Super Chat. It tingles my ningles, so to say. Or jingles my... Well, let's not go there. But look at Flare, everybody. Anybody who was watching on FOMO Friday last week, we bought Flare at 8.6. 10,000 tokens. It cost like 86 bucks. And this is the reason why. We had to retest this area. It was just a matter of time. Thank you, Miss Vicky. Sometimes it comes out like it's supposed to, but I think you guys all get it. And Gales. So H-Bar real quick. I know we have a lot of fans of H-Bar, but I've so to say predicted what could possibly happen with the H-Bar patterns. I prefer the up route because it gets through that very nicely and does it nice and condensed. But I can also see this pull down into route number 2. And I'm keeping these on here because everybody asked me what I thought of H-Bar, and I said, well, you can't really know anything until we have the eventual breakout. So eventually it should break out, but first we could have another consolidation. This looks like a long leg, dragonfly, just like with XRP. We've had the crossing here, the bullish cross. It's about to happen. We need to get on top of here. What I'm trying to show here is once we get on top of roughly 528, then you can have that first bounce. Now either we're going to hit rejection at 575 and bounce on this line, or you come right above it right away and you bounce over. Then it brings in 2 separate scenarios. Then it can bring in another scenario when you get up here. But this is the point. You can't just say, oh, is it bullish or bearish? Or I can't just give you one projection. I can give you a projection, but I'm going to give you what's actually going to happen. And if it happens, you're going to see it before it starts because you're already going to know what you're looking at. Let's take that out of there so you're not confused. So we're forming that W reversal. We're within this big channel. It's a rising channel in my opinion. It comes from past formations. It's nothing but the short term. We can take this out because now we don't need it. We already know what we're doing. I suppose we could have kept it in because there was a reason I had that. That was the mid bounce right there. But we already know the 20-day right there. We're fine. We came down here. We didn't crack 4.9. We're good. So with H-Bar, I'm really looking at the fact that probably take this out of here so we don't make it tricky. That's what I'm looking at. I think you're more than likely, if you break up, I don't think you're going to put in that M. I don't. I think you're more than likely, if you do hold this consolidation, you can probably eliminate this. And I'm only saying that because it has a big bounce in it. And whether it goes bullish or bearish from there, I think you'd be more likely to see that scenario with this W we're seeing if it plays up. That's just my opinion. ATK, $20. Wow, that's very generous. That is very generous. How about this for a donation? I got laid off from work due to no work. Oh, well, that sucks. You got caught in the one of the biggest things that is going to be the shocker, especially for the ones around the world, but in the USA as well. That's going to be very, very, very big thing next year. That's why, well, you don't have to send me a $20 donation, believe me. I'd rather you feed those mouths. That's just being real. That's being real. Got to figure out something though. I mean, the investing is one thing, but we have to make sure that we can somehow, some way find a way to have a steady income, and it's becoming almost impossible in these settings to be able to do this. Even now, having a steady income with the way of stuff rising, it would be hard. But now I know now you're dipping into what you have, so my only question to you is there any prospects? If there's not enough work in the line of work you do, that's a problem. See, and that's the thing that's the hardest, I think. That's the hardest part. Because we're trying to build towards something. ATK, it is always the right thing to do to pay it forward, but what's the number one thing I preface with paying it forward? If it's within your means. I always used to say that. I'll continue to say it. Not just within your means, but you have to be in the right circumstance. You know, sometimes what we want to do best, or what we feel in our heart is the best thing to do, sometimes it's not the most opportune time, let's say. Like I said, it means a lot to me that you're even willing to do that, but I want to make sure that, you know, it's coming from a place of, I don't want to say like that you can afford it, but like when you lose a job that you're so much accustomed to having, you know, it makes it tough. It makes it tough. I've been there. That's true. Reach for peace, feel abundance, and it will come to you. Yes, Miss Vicky, I love that so much. Killuminati, there is nobody like Tommins. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Now, while we're soaking this in real quick, we see what's going on with XRP. We'll get back to it, but real quick, I'm gonna have some cannabis, and this is what I grew in the back. So I've still got some of it left, but I've pulled down about half of the one plant. Not even half, but I pulled down some of it, you know. So it's come out to like 3 or 4 ounces already. And there's probably 3 times that much probably that's left. So I do this once a year, and I probably get close to a pound every year. So we're going to try it. It's the Kush. Came out great. Yeah, I did it in the backyard. I showed some of you along the way. Here. For some of you who don't know, because, you know, I'm in a good mood. We're all in a good, well, I'm in a good mood in my head, but I'm in an indifferent mood because one of my friends in the audience, they don't have enough work from where he used to work, and, you know, that makes me sad, because I know that's going around a lot. I've been there. I'm blessed to not be there now, but I've been there. Serious? Why the hell not? I have my flashlight on, but now it's... Oh. So I cut some of it down, but that's, what is that? Oh, that's just one of the small ones. Why does it look so shitty? Why does my mirror look... Why is it so fucking blurry? Anyhow, I guess you'll get the picture, but that's some of it, what I have left. You know, I cut it into, like, look how beautiful that looks. That looks so nice. But I put this was huge. I had to cut this down. I cut this whole side down. I mean, look how big the... Where the fuck's the stem at? Oh, right here. But it was pretty big. I had like 17 tops, or roughly. So, I mean, it came out really nice. And then I put a small one here. And that sucker, I mean, look at this. That's just a small one that I have over here. But it's coming down pretty nicely, so I'm happy. Fuck. So, yeah, that's just what I have over there. So that's it. Got business to get back to. I know we've got stuff to attend, but I like to share some of the stuff I'm doing with the audience. So I do that every year. The first year I did it when I moved here, because I used to grow it inside in 29 when it first became a medical thing in Michigan. But once they started letting you grow it outside legal, well, deep dark secret, but you can technically, in Michigan, you can grow like 12 plants out. They don't tell you, but technically on your own property. So I just put 2, one small and then one. I topped it like I said, 17 times. I had 17 heads. Well, looks pretty good. So now we're gonna try it. The one that I cut down is the one on the left. They're both Kush, different kinds of Kush. This is just a straight Kush. It's got a little purple in it, as you've seen on the front. Hey, thank you, everybody. Thank you. And I like to, I know we're talking XRP, but we talk all the time. So I think sometimes it's nice so you can see what I actually do outside of this. What's going on, Rockin' Painter? Always awesome to see you in here. So, if you haven't followed Gregory Manarino, he's got 254,000. Awesome. He deserves 3 times that many subscribers at least. But what he says right here, just listen, it's on point. I encourage you to follow him. I learned a lot about what I know about being my own central bank and understanding what's going on in the current economic environment from Gregory Manarino, from the Peter Schiffs, Mike Maloney, Jordan Peterson to a different extent, and Robert Kiyosaki had his own play. But the main cusp for me was Mike Maloney, Peter Schiff, Gregory Manarino. Robert Kiyosaki's in there, but I just personally believe he's become more on the FUD side of town now, and I don't like that. But yeah, so he almost talks like he's too good for all of us now, and I don't like that at all. I don't like when somebody speaks like that, to be honest with you. So I think he's talking out his ass right now with Bitcoin as well. But you know, that's just me.
So number 1, inflation continues to rise. Another big surprise, maybe we haven't seen anything yet.
Got cannabis.
Let's
relax together, ladies and gentlemen.
And the banks are in more trouble than even we know because of, again, toxic assets on their books, low yielding debt. They're watching their balance sheets evaporate. Even Jamie Dimon, for the first time ever, is dumping JP Morgan stock. That is interesting, and the guy clear.
And it's like, guys, for Jamie Dimon, he's never sold any of his JP Morgan stock. I'm sure he took a lot of leverage out against when loans were cheap to continue to buy in more and more, because that's what they do. They leverage cheap money. And now he's looking to sell like 100 million. It's a huge amount. Like 100 million shares. It's worth several hundred million. It's over several $100 million worth of sales that he's looking to close out of positions. This is from today, KBS. This is from today, right now. He just did this a few hours ago. This is his latest update. But yeah, ATK, the old Kiyosaki, was what I learned so much from him. The new one, where he's obviously just looking to get paid for, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I was getting into, Miss Vicky. Man, you're so smart. You're so smart, Miss Vicky. You knew exactly what I was gonna say. That's exactly what I'm talking. They bought in at exactly. So they have to pay off their debt now. So likely they're selling out to do exactly what Miss Vicky said. So if you need anything, go to her as I hit play, because she clearly has a great grasp of this, as we already know. But what a beautiful audience we have here. I can't even stress it enough.
He doesn't need the cash. He doesn't need to dump the stock. Okay, he makes nearly $1 million a week. You think this guy needs to dump all this cash because he wants to be diversified? Really? That's the excuse for dumping like 140 freaking million dollars worth of stock. Anyway, pretty crazy stuff going on here, people, honestly. But on top of the nonsense with regard to inflation, which continues to rise here, you know what? Let me show you something here real quick. This is again,
this is what I wanted you to see right here. So please, if you don't ever listen to Gregory Manarino again, just listen to what he says right here. He obviously put time into this. Just hear him out.
I always tell you, the truth is hidden in plain sight. It always is. Do you know what this is? Do you know what that is? This is a scam that's been going on for a very, very long time. This is the Federal Reserve's reverse repo program. I've explained to you in layman's terms what this is. The Federal Reserve...
Yes, ATK, after Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and that helped me out tremendously, a long time ago. I don't know how to read charts, Tom. I get too confused, but I'm trying. You've taught me a lot. At the end, hey, that's what you should do. I think writing it down is the best thing to do. And then you can stay within the parameters, and then you can learn within the ranges as well. I think you've learned an incredible amount, and you display a lot of knowledge.
In order to fake liquidity in the system, in order to trick the system that it is more liquid than it is, passes vast amounts of cash between institutions overnight. At its peak, this was over $2.5 trillion.
Sorry, guys. Yes, ATK. It turns out that is FUD. It's not that it can't happen, but I showed the updated sources when we said we don't know if it's good, if bad. If it's true, it was great. We were just concerned because of Coininvestopia or whatever the fuck they were that put it out there. But I had to drop the hammer on it the next morning once I got to see more in-depth talkings from Ripple.
Right now, we're sitting at about 1.1
Welcome in,
trillion dollars.
OMC.
Now, what do you notice? Again, this is what was going on. This is going back 2014. Yeah, not too much going on, Then we have an explosion in the Federal Reserve faking liquidity in the market. This is the scamdemic. When they shut down the economy, okay, they had to, again, fake liquidities. That's what this is all about. That's why we peaked here about $2.5 trillion overnight. Now we're about 1.1 trillion. Now this is deliberate. You have to understand. The Federal Reserve right now, what they're doing is they're dismantling the current system. This is something that you and I have spoken about to the point of nauseum for I don't know how long. They're taking down the system piece by piece because they have a new system they're going to roll out along with the other world central banks as well. This is why you're seeing people getting destroyed, the consumer getting wiped out. Oh, that's something interesting too. You know, hold that thought. We're gonna go back to all that. But this is what I wanted to show you with regard to. I mean, just look at this explosion. This is again the Fed faking liquidity. Okay, and this problem here again, it's drying up, as I've been telling you, more than half. The market is used to this now. This is the scamdemic, as I said. Now the Fed is, by design, because this is dismantling the system. This repo, passing cash back and forth here, is, in my view, unless they're going to turn this around, and I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think this is going to eventually lead to a locking up of the system because that's what they want. They need a massive outcry. Again, it's the same scenario over and over again. Problem, they're allowing the problem to manifest itself. Reaction, when people can't get their cash out of the banks, the institutions, bank failure.
Finally, this is the last part. Remember what I keep saying. If you're working with the banks, you need to be your own central banks because at some point they're going to do the reverse. It's the bank bailing. Get used to it, but at some point you're not going to be able to get your cash out of the system. Remember, what is the Federal Reserve? They're the first and last buyers of reserve. That's it. They are the last. It's scary. It's scary.
Debit cards don't work. Credit cards don't work. No access to cash.
Hoodies are welcome in.
That's it. Okay. They need a savior. Okay, please, somebody help us. Oh, don't worry about it. We have a solution for your problem. We have a solution. It's always the same. It's been the same way throughout history. But this is what's going on. It's a big part of why we're seeing the sell-off in the debt market here. The debt market used to be seen, okay, as a safe place to park cash. Clearly, that's not the case anymore. We're in a hyper bubble of hyper bubbles. I mean, this thing is a monster. It's a time bomb. And in my view, it looks like it's going off again. But you're watching the 10-year yield came down a little bit today on the back of more war. And there's going to be more. Oh, a lot more war. Again, more war, more death, more pain, more suffering means a higher GDP. Of course, you will understand that here. Oh, speaking of GDP, so a lovely, illustrious, I was going to say something really bad about
I'm telling you, if you guys don't watch Gregory Mannarino or follow him, this guy is spectacular. For my own heritage, ooh, if we were in the Italian, give him a kiss on the cheeks, because he's bringing you the value. This stuff, not everybody will bring to you, and certainly not for free. I promise you, certainly not for free. And this guy doesn't sit here like everybody else and go, hey, ExpressVPN, yada, yada, yada. Or I got this great mattress. No, he just does his shit. He tells you to go to his website or watch the MMRI, the Mannarino Risk Index, or whatever. That's it. And I would do the same.
Lovely president, but I'm not going to do that. Here, in case you don't know, so Biden is going to ask Congress for another $162 billion. He's going to ask Congress to give him this cash. Now, let me ask you, being that we don't have it, being that there's no war chest, who's going to supply this? Oh, yes. It's going to be the Fed, isn't it? Yeah. We don't have this money. We're broke. We're absolutely destitute. But this number, which is just probably one of many installments moving forward here, will be a big plus to GDP. And then they're going to sell you the lie, just like they did yesterday. Oh, GDP, 4.9. No one saw that coming. You and I did. We said the number that they were going to fake this number. And Reuters, from what I understand, I looked through everybody. Reuters was the only one who reported that it was because of the Ukraine war. But now we not only do have the Ukraine war, we got this Israel war that's expanding to Syria, and everything else is World War III.
Okay, so you guys get the idea. I want to still get through what we were going through, but man, I could watch Gregory Mannarino all day, and I do. Every time he puts an update out, I'm glued to it. Every time. Every damn time. And if you do subscribe to him, Matt, I appreciate you subscribing over there. Please make sure to just put Tom's Army in the chat or something. XRP Future. Just one day, it's my greatest wish to be able to do a live interview with these guys. And you know what? Maybe at 1,000 it wasn't possible. Maybe not at 18,000. But what about 50,000? We're getting there. This community, one step at a time, like I keep saying, one day, I'm going to be able to talk to these people. And it's not because of me. It's because of everybody who came along with me. See, they don't care about just the influencer. They care about the people the influencer can reach. So that's where you all come into play. I don't think everybody understands just how important your role is. With enough of you, we'll have more credibility and we'll be able to approach the Gregory Mannarinos and the Peter Schiffs and the Robert Kiyosaki's and the Mike Maloney's and the Jordan Peter. Imagine if we could get Jordan Peterson and we had a one-on-one. Could you imagine? He might break me down and then build me up along with everything else. But still, how cool would it be to implement this community into those kind of places? I'm not looking to go talk to, the fun guys as I'm, as I'm just going to switch around the words a little bit and you guys can do the rest. I don't have any interest with the fun guys, I don't have any interest in talking to the Bearable Bull Sack. I don't have any interest in any of these people. I don't. The digital asset steward. I don't want to talk to these people. I'd rather just talk to the real guys. I want to talk to the ones who have been influential, not just for me, but being able to do what I do. Not the ones who are giving you the bullshit. I want somebody who's telling me, listen, this is the point. If I've got $500 spare a month, thank God. If you have $500 a month, consider yourself lucky. But what if you didn't know what to do with it? Do you really want to go to some schlub or some douchebag who's just going to tell you to invest in something because XRP is going to $10,000, I'd rather light my ass on fire for one reason. It would hurt less to deal with that kind of shit day after. I mean, seriously. Or would you want somebody to come on and say, sure, you can go into a speculative asset like crypto as of now, or you can start building a 50-50 split in a portfolio. Take 50% of it and you put it into your crypto. And take 50% of it and start building into your own central bank. You start buying your precious metals. In particular, you start buying silver right now because the ratio is at 87-1. That means you get 87 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. And then when it goes back down to 40, you start changing it out. Here you go. Here's 40 of those 87. I would like an ounce of gold, please. And it happens. That's the truth. Would you rather somebody be telling you the truth like that, or to tell you to invest in some speculative bullshit, because that's all it is until it isn't? As much as I love XRP, right now it's all speculation and conjecture. But I believe it because I'm reading the white papers, I'm reading the technology behind it, I'm reading what it can do and transform the sector right now. Instead of paying all this money to use SWIFT or to use some bullshit MoneyGram or all this Western Union, I can see the value in having XRP and the big 100 billion. Remember, there's 100 billion XRP that can be put into existence, into circulation to make this happen. That's why when everybody says it's bad to have 100 billion, no. It would be bad to have 500 million if you wanted to control a lot of the world's transactions. You can't do it. But if we're talking about it's going to be a finite point from A to B and help convert my currency into yours and make it a form of money across the world, well, I'm all for it. But what I'm not for is somebody lying to me like that. So, some people it rubs the wrong way, but that's just who I am. I'm not going to go tell you to watch some schmuck. I'm not. I won't do it. If they've lied to me and I can see it, imagine how much they're lying to you and you don't even see it. It's about integrity. I tell you the ones I think have integrity. Peter Schiff doesn't have to do this. For what? The guy's richer than the one. He's the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. He's the 1% of the 0.1ers. What his dad Irwin went through, I don't know if I would have the heart to do what he's doing. Sure as hell not for, well, I might because of what they did to my dad. But he doesn't have to. That's why I give him a pass when he does his promotions in between. When you watch Mike Maloney, I give him a lot of credit too, just like I do with Gregory Manarino, because he does an update and he will advertise in the middle of it to go buy gold through his company, goldsilver.com. That's fine. How else are they going to get advertising? But what I don't like is watching somebody like me giving you this and leeching off of that. That should be there for somebody who's already made it, to give them a reason to put it out here to me and you for free. I haven't made it. If you want to say made it, okay, I've got 18,600. That doesn't give me the right to leech off the system. No, I'm not stoned. Well, I suppose you could say I'm stoned, but this is how I talk every day. You should really tune in when I'm really stoned. This isn't stoned. This is just when I'm honest. This is, some people say on Fridays I do a cleanse on Friday evenings. And I go off on the tangent a little bit. The problem is when I talk like this, more people stick around. And they just expect it day after day, but this isn't what they're going to get. Well, you're going to get it to an extent. But you know what? I don't like the word stoned. I like the word relaxed. I'm relaxed. I'm relaxed. The word stoned is that's dirty. That's dirty. That's just like when somebody calls something weed. No, it's cannabis. I don't want to hear weed. That's just, that gives it a dirty connotation. Don't you understand? Just like if I called XRP trash, even though I think it's a gem, you know, that's negative connotation that it doesn't deserve. So, you know what I get you know what everybody keeps telling me about XRP, and it's so funny. And by the way, I've kept this screen on for so long. Has anybody picked up on what I'm trying to show you before I draw it? But yeah, by the way, the cannabis I'm relaxing with, you're right. It is good because I put in the work to do it. No chemicals, no nothing. I didn't alter it in any way. I got a nice Kush seed. I grew it myself. Didn't alter it in any way. And yes, it is a very, very nice, very smooth, and very clean feeling. And it's a very uplifting one. So you're going to get the best when you have something that's uplifting. All right. So there's a big W in here. Big W. It's a big W. I just made the W, but you guys can't see it because I did it with my... So, okay, there's some truth to what you're saying. Where's he at? Ori, there is some truth. Boom, 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 boom. So, anyhow, enough of that. So, the W reversal, I think, is going on here. I think that's what happened here. We broke out of this bear flag. Some could say it's a bull flag, which I think that's what happened. I know it's a little small to be a bull flag, but still, when you have a big pull down like this and then it comes up like that so quickly, it does form the bull flag. And that pattern, I have this one just showing the actual flag, but if you look at it from a different perspective here, you can look at it from the bear flag perspective. I'm showing it right now from a bull flag on the other one. This is the bear flag perspective. Both ways, though. Actually, it should be up a little higher. I don't know what happened. That's fine, but this is down too far. This needs to be hitting this wick. Either way, you can see what I mean. So, that was the bear flag, and we're breaking out. And now we needed to retest. While it's not going to be accurate on the bear flag side, we're looking at a breakout from the bull flag side of this, where it pulled back up and formed the bull flag. That's why instead of confusing the charts, I like to have two of them, and that's why you can see it here very clearly retesting the bull flag side of it. Not the bear flag, the bull flag. If it needs to retest the bull flag, the bear flag, well, that's where we talk about that slightly lower number, and I don't really want to go there. I don't. Because then if you retest this, the chances are we have to come all the way back down to like that 51 cent mark, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go back down there. I personally think the chart looks a lot cleaner if you just put it like this, and you have this bull flag set up, right? The bull flag set up, and then it comes up to the rising channel on this formation. This is an inverted head and shoulders formation still. Yes, I understand, and some people will continue to say, and I understand, it's overextended. That's just the way it works sometimes. That's an inverted head and shoulders. Because it could have been a bear flag, right? If it does that. But if it doesn't do that, it's breaking out, and it's going to prove an inverted head and shoulders. And this, it can still get rejected at the rising channel resistance and still be bearish. That's what I want to make very clear. That's still very bearish, that move in itself. Unless it gets over this and holds, that move in itself could still be very bearish, confirming that breakdown. That's just, it happens. Sometimes it happens. But we had a bottom, double bottom, triple bottom, but slightly inclined. But you're making the perfect bear flag here. And then it broke out. It's the perfect bear flag till it's not. But we knew what could happen because we knew there was a bull flag pull up. And I think it's pretty easy to see on the wick. And I'll debate people to the death on these kind of things. Well, not to the death. I'll debate you until the light comes back on. Because it looks like a bull flag to me. It looks like it disguised a beautiful bull flag within a bear flag. And sometimes when that happens, even if it's bearish, you come back and retest the drop point. And that happens to be the rising channel resistance. We can't make that up. We can't help that that resistance is right where that cup and handle would be. We also can't help that that pattern started June of 2022. So, you know, when some things start to add up to me, I just go with it until it doesn't. So until this breaks this formation, I'm going to look at it more bullish. If it breaks this formation, well, we're in some fucking trouble. Then we're coming back down. And we'll go to the 2020 uptrend after we contend with the 2022 rising channel from June at 42.5 cents. Roughly, because that should bring us into December at some point, or late November if we fail this entire move. So what do you think? What do you think? That's what I'm thinking. Good or bad, indifferent, that's what I'm thinking. What's going on here? How's it going, Julie? Is Scarlett in the room?
Yeah, she's in.
Do you want any of this? A little bit of a joint? Or are you good? No, you can. Yeah, no, I'm basically done. We need to sit at 55 cents for a little bit to show we are strong. Yes, we do. That's our next resistance that we need to get on top of. We have 55 and 57 right here. We do need to get on top of 55. And then if we can get on top of 57, then we don't really have anything stopping us until 63 cents. After that, we'd have about 71 cents. But I think we're looking pretty strong going into the weekend. I really do. I know a lot of look at this as bearish, but just what I'm showing you in front of me, that looks bullish. And that's a retest of the breakout. When you start to set it up with the proper formation, and not just look at it from a bear flag perspective. Like, look how different this looks if you're looking at it from the bear flag and you don't recognize the bull flag. That's what most people will put this. How many people have you watched on YouTube? And you don't have to lie and you don't have to feel like, oh my God. But how many people use this chart in the short term right here? Because that's the standard operating procedure. That's exactly what it's in. But if you don't look at the wick pull down and you look at it from a higher up and you realize, hey, it did pull up, and now we look at the next candle from the pull up, now you start to form a different opinion here. Now you can see how this breakout is trying to get confirmed. Otherwise, they're waiting for it to come down lower, not even realizing that this could be putting in a dragonfly doji. Again, understanding the candle formation. Some ask how my candles look like this. You got to go into the Heikin-Ashi. You can't just have it on the regular candles. You got to put it in the Heikin-Ashi. Otherwise, you're not going to get the candle bodies to look like this. They're not going to show wicks like this. And I don't like that. I like this. If it's good enough for the Japanese, it's sure as hell good enough for me. Ooh, that's pretty freaking cool. Yeah, that looked nice, the clouds. Already bought his Casper. Have you been buying Yep, I already bought my Casper, NATO. I got just over my 10,000 tokens. We bought them on, what were we buying Casper on? FOMO Fridays. I sure did. I did my due diligence. Casper's at 321 right now. It's above where we were buying it in the descending triangle, just so you know. We were buying it in this formation as it was coming down. We didn't quite get all the way down at 3. But we bought it somewhere, I want to say somewhere in here as it was coming down in this formation. And I wanted to buy it inside this formation, which we did at the bottom side here. But now it made a big W, so we know in time this could come up to 4-1, and that's what I prefaced. Our next big move should be all the way up here at 366. I do too, NATO. I do too. And yeah, I could have put more into it, but I'm trying to do something 10,000 token-wise with certain ones. And this is one of them I definitely think is a sleeping giant. And over time, you know, how many times have you heard I put $200 or $300 into something and, you know, it turned into 20, 30, 50,000. A lot of people, they're big picks. Some people with crypto, they'll put $200 in a multitude of different coins or tokens and hope that they hit the right one. I don't hope I hit the right one. I know I'm going to hit the right ones, and there's going to be multiple ones. It's just going to take until 2028 for it to pay off in the way I want. Some people are like, oh my God, 2028. Oh my God, what? I'll be 44. So if you're talking about I'm accumulating for the future and I'm trying to build a portfolio for when I retire, because I don't have a traditional job as you're seeing it, but it's not YouTube. That wasn't my job. I guess you could classify it as it is now, since I do it every single day without missing a day for almost 3 years, though. We're not in a bull run. We're not in a bull run. We're in a bear market rally until otherwise told. Until otherwise the market tells us different. Right now, there's nothing more. XRP needs to be above $1.13 for me to even say. And there's a reason why. It needs to be above $1.13 for me to even say and hold that we're starting to reverse the bear market and we can finally say we're back in a bull market. We can't yet. We came down from $1.98 in XRP. We came down from mid 60,000, over 60,000 with Bitcoin, wasn't it? Where was Bitcoin at in its high? So, I mean, we sure as hell, we're not even close to a bull market. Like, I don't, but we very well could be breaking back into one if we can break this structure. Bitcoin was at 68,000 plus. Do you realize what we're saying? 20% down from the high is bear market territory. We're over 50% down right now. More than 50%. We're well in bear market. Well in bear market. It's not even controversial. I wouldn't even go from the top. For us not to be in bear market territory, do you understand? We need to get back up to like 55,000 to officially not be in bear market after that. If you go from the top, to get out of correction territory, from being in bear market territory, you have to come under 20%. Some will say 10, I give it 20. So that's but that's what I got, everybody. That's what I got. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you got anything out of this, please make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing to Tom's Army and pay it forward if you can. You can always send a YouTube super chat, but the most important thing for me to help push this content is to share this far and wide on social media. It really is. It's the easiest, it's the best way, and it helps push me through the YouTube algorithm. I don't have a marketing budget because I don't do any kind of paid promotions or sponsorships or any of that nonsense. So I truly do need all of your help. And I do appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you give thanks to your Lord and Savior. Like ATK, say a prayer. Read what he said. I won't get into the political side of it, but you make so with XLM as I'm walking out, we have not gone bearish. We have not. That's a hammer candle. It's slightly bearish right now, but we have not gone bearish here. We're looking to revalidate this pattern. We might very well come up to this 12 cents, even if it's bullish or bearish, to get rejected. But if it's bullish, you're going to see this play off, and at some point we're going to be on the top side of that 12.2 in the short term. So pay attention to that. And then DGB, because I love DGB. It's my friend. Still, it's kind of looking like XRP. We very well could come down to the consolidatory, but that's more of a dragonfly. Yes, it's a little bearish, but it's more of a dragonfly here down the night. So even as long as we can continue to ride the 20-day, even if it comes back to 667, we're going to have a date here at 735, and then if we get on top of it, we're going to run out of here. And if we do, it's very compressed, it's very backed up, and DGB's been dying for a move for a very long time. Have a